Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fractured Realities. I am your host, Jay Warner. This is my intro show, the intro to the fractured universe that we live in. I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. We're going to keep this short and brief, even though my favorite subject is myself. Anyway, yeah. I'm going to talk about quite a few things on here. I'm pretty eclectic when it comes to issues. Politics, religion, philosophy, alternate history, what everybody likes to call conspiracy theories. I don't particularly care for that name myself because that sort of puts everything in a box. And, here, let's put all the crazy people over here in the playpen. Wall that some bitch off. You get my drift. Anyway. This is for the dreamers. This is for the people who wake up every day and say something's wrong, something's off with reality. Something just doesn't seem right. This was one way yesterday, but it's a different way today. What's going on? Why are people losing their minds? Why are we living in a world at war? Why are people so hateful to one another? Why, after 20,000 years of progress, does the human race still feed off each other like vultures? See, these are questions that I have. I have some thoughts on them. Like, I'm no expert. I'm no political analyst. I'm no philosopher. I'm just a man who has opinions. And as much as I'd like to not give a shit about people, I do. I care about people. I'm a single father. I care about the world that my kids are inheriting and the world that their children will one day inherit. I think that the sharing of ideas and the sharing of philosophy, thoughts, maybe we'll come up with something. Maybe we'll come up with more pieces of the puzzle. Maybe realities won't be so fractured. Maybe one day we'll figure it out. Or maybe we'll just open up some thoughts. Maybe I'll make you think. Maybe you'll make me think. Together we'll learn and together we'll grow as the show progresses. Me, myself, I'm in my early 40s. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. Go Tribe. I now live in Big Timber, Montana. It's been a long voyage. I'm not going to spend too much time on that right now, but I am an independent voter. I am a spiritual agnostic, meaning I have spiritual beliefs, but I do not believe in organized religion, which later on I will do a two-part series about my issues with religion. Or no, I'm sorry, a one-part series about my issues with religion. I do a two-part series about my issues with politics. And there's also a three-part awakening series coming with my my good friend Kyle Hartman, where I discuss the truther movement and the things that I believe and the things that I don't believe. So I look forward to that. Plus, I will be doing some talks about things that are in the news and things that are happening with our world with another friend of mine. So stay tuned. There will be some content. It's not just me talking about myself. As wonderful though that may be, I want to keep you in the loop, not in the snore. Anyway, so like I said before, I have spiritual beliefs. I have peeked behind the veil. I've seen things and experienced things in my life that aren't necessarily ordinary to the common person. I've prescribed at one time to both the Republican and Democratic Party, but I sort of have had my falling outs with both. And I've tried the whole religious thing. I mean, I've studied religion ad nauseum. I've Buddhism, Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, Islam, as well as several cults, mythologies, alternative histories. See, I've always felt that there was a little piece of the puzzle missing from what I learned in church or what I learned in school. See, those are just one little tiny piece of the puzzle. That's why things seem so fractured. And I've spent a good portion of my lifetime trying to bring the puzzle together and figure things out. Not that I do have the answers or that I'm ready for any great revelations, because I'm not, but I want to learn with you. I want to grow with you. I want your comments. I want your feedback. You know, if you like what you hear later on in the shows, subscribe, comment, you know. Hey, I'll even Skype you into the show if you have some kind of constructive criticism, or if you want to debate me on a subject. That's fine. You know, just as long as we don't sling poo and call names and go into Nazi punching or call me a communist or any of the other broadband terms that people use when they don't have dialect or dialogue, when they are only interested in spreading their narrative or their beliefs, not sharing with others or trying to explain where they're coming from. You know, I like people who are intellectual. I like people who can philosophize and think things through. I've always tried to separate myself from those that I disagree with. I've tried to see things from their point of view and to see things from different ways. So in a way, my reality is fractured. It's, you know, I see things from several different angles, and I try to come to a truth in the middle. You know, we all have our own truths. Truth is something that is both objective and subjective. If you live in a cut off society where you only see one point of view, obviously you have a very subjective reality. You only see things that you're subjected to. But if you have experienced across culture, like I have, I've been in 38 states and 3 countries. If you want to count Tijuana and Windsor, Canada, is actually visiting another country. I've actually been to 3 countries too. Like I said, I've grown up with a pretty good cross stitch of people. I grew up in a Hispanic neighborhood. I was bused to predominantly African American schools for most of my Cleveland public school education. I worked in Italian restaurants for a while. I managed those. I managed a kosher Jewish bagel shop. I worked with Italians. I worked with Irish. I've done security for stores for people who are Arabic. So I've kind of been around the block. I have some stories to share, and I've had some life experience. I'm not saying my life's more interesting than anybody else's or less interesting, or that I've been through more. I'm not one of those people. I'm not a one upper. I don't care to compete with you. I care to share with you. Let's see, that's the difference. I'm not one of those YouTubers who wants to call himself a prophet or come up with some lovely symbol for himself or pretend like I'm the most awoke or the most informed or the best or the smartest man in the room. I don't claim to be any of those things. I am who I am. Those people who know me know that I'm a very approachable person. I'm somebody that can talk to anybody. Yeah, I have long hair. I have tattoos, but I'm anti-drug. I have been clean and sober for 16 years. I'm going to do a separate episode on that later on and discuss my journeys. I don't drink alcohol. I've never been in prison, never been in. Well, I have been in jail a couple times, but hey, we're all young and stupid at some point. But so, don't just look at this pretty face and come up with an opinion right away. Let's take the voyage together and forget about social norms. Let's forget about things we've learned in school. I understand that every time you see a guy with a tattoo in a movie, he's a criminal. But hey, stereotypes are what they are. Sometimes they're actually fun. So just sit back, listen. Like I said, I don't talk about one thing. I try to keep an open mind and an open perspective on things, and I spread it out a lot. I mean, my thoughts are varied. I don't like to dwell on one type of subject. I know a lot of the YouTubers do that, and that's how they build an audience. Same thing with the podcasts, but I like to keep it fresh. I'd like to talk about different things. Talking about one thing, eventually you're going to run out of content. You're going to grasp, and I don't ever want to do that. I don't ever want to be that guy who has to watch other people's videos and borrow from other people's. Also, a shout out to the Mandela Effect researchers and my buddy Michael Adcox and his RX or RH Mandela Effect group. I'm part of several truther groups online. I'm not as big of a participant as I used to be, but that's time constraints and everything else. But met a lot of great people along the way. Carmen Walters, Kara Winters, Jason, Michael. You people have really helped me on my voyage, and I just want to take a moment to thank you if any of you are listening here to the podcast. I do appreciate everything that you've done, and please stay in touch. And I'd love to have any one of you on my show. So I am active on social media. I don't presently have a Twitter account, but I might put one up now. But you can reach me on Facebook, Jay Warner. You can also find me as the Tattooed Freak _2 on Instagram if you just want to look at pictures of my ugly face. And once I become a tweet head again, I'll make sure that I let that information out for you. But the podcasts are called Fractured Realities. My daughter Isis Johnson. Yes, I named her before the group who terrorizes the world came to pass. So, didn't have the crystal ball that day. I thought it was a cool name. But anyway, she helps me do the editing on here, so a lot of props to her. Because I'm not that technically proficient, so she seems to be a lot better with the multimedia aspect. So she's going to be my tech gal or tech person, tech kid, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it was pretty much at the age of 3, she could run Windows better than I could, and I actually have Windows certification. So scary thought, but yeah. But this is the young generation, the young kids. I mean, what sort of world are they going to inherit? What can we do to make the world better for them? How can we educate them against the propaganda that's force-fed to them in the schools and through higher education and mass media and social media? It's a scary world. It's not like it was when we grew up. I mean, you had to worry about the bully around the block. You stayed out all day and came home and took your bath and ate your supper, and repeat progress. But nowadays, these kids are subjected to hundreds of different kinds of things, and everything seems to have a direction that they want to think, a narrative. Everything's so political, and this generation, and so it's hard. Being a parent is definitely a primary job, and for those of you who have kids and are an active part in your children's life, more props to you. It's definitely not easy. I've been a single father for most of my children's life, and playing both the mommy and the daddy, and working and supporting, and you know, I'm not giving myself props here. I'm just explaining to you, but for all you single parents out there, I don't judge you. I know a lot of people who are ultra conservatives might think that somebody who's a single parent or divorced or have had addiction issues or anything else. There's a lot of judgmental people out there, but there's also good people out there of all religions, of all faiths, of all colors, creeds. There's those who think and those who react. The people who learn one path, follow that path, and react violently against those who have other ideas. I'm a free speech advocate. You should be able to say and do what you think. There's plenty of things out there in this world that'll hurt you. Pollution, violence, political chaos, an ever angry and changing weather patterns. One thing that does not hurt you or does not affect your life is other people's opinions and other people's thoughts. There's way too much of the thought police going on in this day and age, and people really need to reel it in. Okay, your emotions do not define my reality. And I'm sorry if I will probably offend everybody at least one point or another. I've never been somebody to be labeled or put in a box. Like I said, I hung out with a variety of different people. How I play sports. I've been in law enforcement. I have lived a criminal lifestyle at one point earlier on. So I can see things from different points of views. I'm not doing this to have an echo chamber for my thought. I'm doing this to share with people and to learn and for us to grow together. So I hope you stay tuned. Like I said, I have a 2-part series on religion. I have a 3-part awakening series on the Truther movement. I have my views on religion on another one. My issues with politics. That's the 2-part series. Sorry, I misspoke. I do that a lot. But welcome, and let's learn together. Let's grow as a people, as humanity. Let's find out what our true cause. Why are we here? Why were we thrown on this rock? I don't believe that we're just maggots crawling across the carcass of a dying earth. I do believe that we have a purpose here, that we have a meaning. I believe that everybody here is an old soul, and that we're brought back, that we have a reason, that there's some sort of puzzle that we have to put together. But reality's fractured, things change. So we have to put the pieces back together occasionally, but together we can do that. Together we can grow intellectually, spiritually, mentally. We can always learn. Once you decide in life that you know everything and that you no longer need to grow or you no longer need to learn, that's when you truly begin to die. It's a spiritual death that might take 30 or 40 years, but it's a death nonetheless. So let's stay alive, let's stay awoke, and let's learn together. I look forward to talking with you in the future, and hopefully you'll stick around. My name's Jay Warner. This is Fractured Realities, and I hope to see you soon. Goodbye. Thank you.